go out and get that championship. Everyone happy now?
Behold, lunkhead basketball man.
It looks like High School Musical 4 is on the horizon. Rumors are already swirling that a new generation of Wildcats will be joining the cast, with fresh young stars ready to step into the spotlight and carry the legacy forward. Back in the 2000s, High School Musical took the world by storm. It wasn't just a Disney Channel success, it became a full-blown pop culture phenomenon. The catchy songs, the relatable high school drama, and the chemistry between characters like Troy and Gabriella made it one of the most iconic teen franchises of its time. By the time High School Musical 3's senior year hit theaters, it was clear this wasn't just a made-for-TV fad. That third film made over $252 million at the box office, proving it could hold its own on the big screen and breaking records for a musical aimed at a teen audience. With numbers like that and the loyal fan base that stuck around all these years, it's honestly surprising that a fourth movie never officially happened. Over the years, there's been plenty of speculation and rumors, and even a few meta-references in the Disney Plus series, High School Musical: The Musical: The Series, but no real continuation of the story. Fans have waited, hoped, and rewatched the original trilogy more times than they can count, but High School Musical 4 still feels like a dream just out of reach. For many people, a key part of making a fourth movie work would be bringing back the original cast, especially Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens, Ashley Tisdale, and the rest of the core group. While High School Musical: The Musical: The Series did bring back a few familiar faces like Grabeel and Monique Coleman, the majority of the original crew have only made brief appearances or stayed away altogether. That said, Efron and Hudgens have never completely turned their backs on the franchise. They've both spoken fondly about their time on the films and even appeared in reunion events. But as time keeps ticking, a reunion grows harder to pull off convincingly, at least in the traditional high school setting the series was built on. Now, realistically, crafting a brand new movie centered on the original characters wouldn't be easy. It's been years since we last saw Troy Bolton singing on the East High stage, and coming up with a believable story that brings everyone back without feeling forced would take some serious writing magic. High School Musical: The Musical: The Series already played around with the idea of a fictional High School Musical 4, offering potential storylines in a tongue-in-cheek way. But that doesn't mean a real fourth movie was ever in active development. Still, nostalgia is a powerful force, especially in Hollywood. Studios know it sells, and with the recent wave of revivals and reboots, there's every reason to believe that a real High School Musical 4 could be a massive win for Disney. The emotional pull of revisiting East High, combined with a right mix of new and familiar faces, could create a film that bridges generations of fans. But there's a bit of a catch, mainly when it comes to where the characters left off. High School Musical 3 gave the group a fairly solid send-off. It followed Troy, Gabriella, Chad, Taylor, Ryan, and Sharpay through their final year at East High. They navigated growing up, making choices about their future, and saying goodbye. In the end, Troy chose to attend UC Berkeley so he could continue playing basketball and pursue theater. Gabriella headed off to Stanford. Everyone seemed to be moving on with their lives as high schoolers do. And that's the tricky part. Once you send your characters off to college, the whole High School Musical concept gets harder to hang on to. While it's easy to imagine what their college years might have looked like, those stories don't exactly fit the tone of the original trilogy, which was all about self-discovery, light drama, and youthful optimism. Still, there's something kind of compelling about where the characters might have ended up. Take Troy, for example. Sure, he said he'd keep up with both basketball and theater in college, but how realistic is that? College life, especially for someone balancing intense sports training with demanding performance work, isn't exactly a walk in the park. Add in long-distance romance and the pressure to figure out what kind of adult he wants to be, and Troy probably faced a whole bunch of struggles we never got to see. If a new movie picked up years later, we might find that Troy had to make tough decisions, maybe giving up one passion to pursue the other, or leaving both behind for something more practical. If a new movie picked up years later, we might find that Troy had to make tough decisions, maybe giving up one passion to pursue the other, or leaving both behind for something more practical. That's the kind of story that would resonate with fans who, like the characters, have grown up and faced similar choices. So what would a High School Musical 4 look like today? One idea that's been floated is to bring back Troy, Gabriella, and the others as adults, possibly even as parents. It's been over 16 years since Senior Year came out, which actually makes now the perfect time to revisit the story from a whole new angle. Zac Efron could return not as a high schooler, but as a father with kids now attending East High themselves. That would allow the franchise to come full circle while also bringing in a new generation of stars to carry the story forward. This kind of generational reboot could hit the sweet spot between fan service and fresh storytelling. Think about it. Troy Bolton is now in his 30s, and maybe he's given up his dreams of theater and basketball for a steady job in business. But what if one of his kids wants to follow in his footsteps and join the school musical or make the basketball team? That could spark a whole journey for Troy himself, forcing him to reconnect with his past and maybe rediscover the passion he left behind. This kind of story could speak to both longtime fans and new viewers alike. It would also give Disney a great opportunity to introduce younger stars who could appeal to the current Gen Z and Gen Alpha crowd. Having rising talent in the spotlight alongside beloved originals would be a smart way to bring in fresh energy while also honoring what came before. There's even talk among fans that casting a breakout young performer, someone popular on platforms like TikTok or YouTube, could give the movie the kind of viral appeal it needs for modern audiences. After all, adding new stars is a tried and true way to give a movie a box office boost. With the right actor leading the younger storyline, Disney could lock in an even broader demographic. A lot of people think someone charismatic and relatable, maybe even discovered through Disney's newer talent programs, could take the pressure off the returning cast and give the franchise a strong future. If handled well, a new High School Musical movie could strike that delicate balance between past and present. Troy, Gabriella, and the rest wouldn't need to carry the whole story, they just need to be there to pass the torch. That way, fans get to check in on the characters they love while also getting invested in the next chapter. Some fans worry that the magic of the originals can't be recreated, and that might be true if Disney tries to make a simple rehash. But if they lean into what's changed, the characters, the times, the music, they might just land something special. Imagine updated songs that still have that HSM heart, but with lyrics that reflect growing up, parenthood, and the fear of losing who you once were. That could be incredibly powerful. In fact, the most poetic ending to this saga might be seeing Troy come full circle, returning to East High not just as a parent, but as a drama teacher or basketball coach. In doing so, he'd not only help his kids figure out who they want to be, he'd also rediscover the person he was always meant to become. That's the kind of storyline that resonates with both teens figuring it all out and adults who've had to make compromises along the way. So will High School Musical 4 ever actually happen? It's tough to say, but if Disney ever decides to move forward with it, they've got a ton of material to work with and a fan base that's more than ready to sing along once again. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.